Okay, so here's the idea. So I see this girl, right? And it's a Saturday or a Friday. We're somewhere at Matkins Liquor, and we get drunk, very drunk, and we get very drunk, and then I take her to my house, right? Because I'm a cool guy, I'm a charmer, right? So I get this girl and I go with her to the house, and when we get there, we start doing so many things, so many weird things. Not weird things, to be honest, but we do so many of the things that, well, you're very confident you wouldn't do in front of your parents. And then, and then you have another guy, and you see these guys, they're there, they're drunk, and they're jumping up and down, and well, they're shouting all sort of vulgar and insults, Well, that right there is a devil. And then you go to church the following day and you find these people, they're all there. They're just chilling there and they're looking at the pastor speaking things, and they're like, we like you, we love God. And they close their eyes and they raise their hands like, holy. But somewhere in your mind, there's a part that's like, I know you. I really know you. You were sucking my dick yesterday and you really liked it. It's really weird how girls really like to suck dick, man. I mean, honestly, I've thought about this sometimes when we were having sex with girls and you just put them there and they go in and they suck it and you look at them, they close their eyes and shit, and you can tell these people are really enjoying this shit. You're like, you know, it's true. That's the only shit these people want.
Fuck this motherfucker,
Fuck
man.
this. But anyways, look, man, the point is we are horrible people. Horrible in the sense that we are doing so many of the things that we are not comfortable showing the people. All right, we are hiding a lot of parts about ourselves, and these parts that we are hiding about ourselves is exactly what the old people are hiding themselves, because that's what they are doing themselves. It's not that there's a demon that attacks the young people or the youth. It's only that the youth are comfortable with showing these things and not really hiding them, you know well, some of you do hide it though. But the point is, how can I be at a church with a person and pretend as if this person is a holy person when I know that where they come from and the horrible shit that they do outside? I can't pretend. I'm not a pretender. I'm not going
Different
to. Yeah, no.
responsibilities.
I'm not going to lie to these people and tell them that, well, you're holy, man, and then raise my hand. I never do this thing at church of raising my hand, of being closing my eyes, because I know deep inside me I'm a fucking horrible person, and I'm not going to lie about that. And so that's what I want to do. That's what we're trying to do with my friend. We're trying to come out as real as we are, okay? We're coming out with this brokenness of ours, or, well, let's call it divergences. We're different from what society would consider to be normal, right? Well, the fuck is normal? Normal is what everybody does. We all suck dick. Okay, I don't suck dick, okay? It's the girls that suck dick, but we all do these crazy things, man, and we cannot hide about it. We cannot hide these things. We need to come out. And of course, a lot of you are afraid to coming out, and we are not. So we've decided that, in fact, I've decided that I'm going to play something that a lot of people have never thought existed. I am a kid who has multiple personalities. Well, people would say this is a moody kid, right? Which means that I have this ability to get into the mindset of people even though I'm not them. Like, it's what they call empathy. Sometimes when I see a person going through a terrible experience, I can actually feel that I feel it too. And for some reason my whole day gets ruined because I'm seeing a person who's going through a tough and a terrible day, and that's because I know what terrible and tough really is, man. And so, if you're a person like that, it means that you have the ability to transcend around the different personalities that people have, and so you just sort of understand them. And when you understand them, you can be able to see at the underlying part of their life that these are not terrible people, these are not horrible people, these are just people who, well, let's just say for convenience sake, these are people who are experimenting, or these are people who are living the lives that they were trained to live by the way that they were raised, or by their genetics, or by the environment. So these people really have no choice into these terrible things that they are doing, but they will always feel guilty for these things and hide them and never be able to confess them. The Bible says we have to confess our secrets, and if we confess them, then in some kind of way we'll be healed. And this is part of the way that I think that we can have a successful confession, and not just by you confessing the mistakes that you've done, because I've done a lot of these things. Well, it's not mistakes really, but let's just say for some reason we accept them as mistakes and sins. I've done quite a large number of what people consider to be sins, and I just want to come out now and just tell you the story of what happened, and just tell and just be honest. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I think it's very important to be able to know the worst in you, but and still think that you're awesome even if you're a horrible person. Because I'm telling you there's so much beautiful utility in knowing that you're a horrible person and who's capable of doing the worst to people. Because once you know that part about yourself, that's the moment you start to keep yourself leashed. And that's the moment you start to learn responsibilities. And so I'm really trying to stand in front of people and tell them how horrible I am. What are the horrible things that I sometimes think about and plot to do? And sometimes it's not really what I'm planning, but it's what other people, either my friend or other people have been planning to do, and they come and they share it with us, and we think, well, it's important to tell people how horrible the world is so that they can start to see themselves as part of that horrible part of humanity. And because the moment they start to learn that they are ticking bombs, I think people will start to realize the danger they themselves are causing into the world, and in some kind of way be inspired to try to curb them. So when I come out and I play the Lucifer metaphor, I'm not really a bad person. I don't think there's somewhat of utility in saying fuck you. Of course there's one, you feel relieved and shit like that, but the reason why I'm really doing these things is because well, most of the young kids now, they don't want you to lecture them and be like, okay, so Joseph had a dream, right? A lot of the young people who are really lost don't want that. They're raw, these people. You tell them fuck you, bitch, they're like fuck you too, bitch, and we can have a conversation. Because to us, fuck and words and shit like that, they're just stupid words, man. Okay, they're just combination of letters. So when I'm coming out as the Lucifer, what I'm really trying to do is that I'm trying to come out as as a figure that says, look, I'm here. I've done so many things that people thought were wrong. Some of them worked for me, some of them didn't work, they destroyed me, but for some reason I'm still alive, okay? And I just want to tell you what happened and how I survived and all of those things, and what it means about your life, whether you can do it or whether you can't do it, all right? And the utility of this is this. So psychologically, they say that as people will, when we look at other people, I don't know what they call it, neuropsychological mirroring. I think that's what they call it. But they say that as people, we have this thing that we look at other people and then we project ourselves on them. So if people who are free in some kind of way, we are inspired to free. Imagine when someone who's laughing a lot walks into a room, suddenly the mood changes and you don't know what exactly is the mood of the first place, because you realize that every person has their own perception of the world. They're expecting different things, but suddenly if one person who's all happy walks into the class, all of us will start smiling and we're just happy. And why is that exactly? Because a lot of people can use someone who stands up and is different from all of them, and he comes out or she comes out and she gives them a different outlook to life, and they are very confident about it. And so I want to come out as a confident mistake or sinner maker, and not because I'm encouraging people to commit and sin. I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not, but I'm trying to say that if you really want to conquer mistakes in your life, you just might be curious of what a mistake at the first place is, and what's the worst possible mistake that a person can make, and how can you get the hell out of the worst possible mistake that can ever exist. And of course, I'm not insinuating that I've been at the worst mistakes ever, right? I'm not saying that, but I've done terrible things in my life. Terrible things, and not terrible things in the sense that I've killed people. I've never killed anyone, but I've done nonetheless things that have created a very disturbed or distorted existence to someone other person. Either I've lied to them, I've promised love that was not coming, or I've borrowed money, I've never returned it back, and people got in troubles with that. I've lied, I've dated a girl's a girl who belongs to another guy, and I've broken the guy at the process, and now that poor kid is growing up and he thinks that he's terrible because I took his girlfriend. I've created a chaos in this world, and I am owning to that, and I'm saying I want to come out and I want to tell the processes of how these things came about, because because if you understand the concept of Lucifer, it's this: the concept of Lucifer was that Lucifer is considered, or was considered, a light bringer, and what that means is this. So when you think about the concept of life, is that light, rather, you don't introduce light to something that has already been lit, right? Because if you do that, well, then you're stupid. But what you do, you introduce life into the darkness. So Lucifer, what light really meant, it meant knowledge. Light means now I know. So if you remember Simba, when they were standing at the top of the mountain, Simba and Mufasa, and part of what they were standing on looked like a pyramid, and at the top there was just a small portion of light, and then there was Mufasa and Simba there, and then Mufasa says, look out into the kingdom. There's an open vast place there. There's the light, right? There was a place that had the sun, but there was the other part where there were dead elephants there. There were skulls, and there were the hyenas, the chaos. That's what we call the chaos. Not chaos because it's a terrible place, but chaos because it's ununderstood. We don't know. It's the unknown. And by unknown, what we mean is that we might see it, but we might not know what it means. Therefore, we might lack the ability to shape it the way we want it, so that it can accommodate our survival in peace, or our peaceful survival, or our peaceful survival. So when they're standing there, and then Mufasa says, your kingdom is only where there's the light, and in the darker parts, well, that's not where you go. What he's trying to say is that in life, anything that you want to conquer and you want to be successful in, you just might want to put light into it. That means you might want to know it and understand it. Now, a lot of people think they fucking understand shit, but they don't fucking understand shit, right? People, they just use words, and they don't even understand that words were used to refer to a concept that is in real life. So what does it mean? For instance, when we say, well, let me see. When we say God, of course, that's a very powerful word. When you say God and someone says, I'm going to be spending my time with God, what in the world do you fucking mean when you say you're going to spend time with God? When you say, now I'm going to spend time with God, what do you do? Says, well, I go to sit in my room and I read the Bible. Why don't you say, I'm going to read the Bible? I'm going to spend time with the Bible. No, because the Bible is God. No, the Bible is the Bible. God is God. You see, there's a huge difference. What really is God? But people just come around and they talk about God as if they know him. They say words as if they know what they mean, but they don't know. They just know the definition of these words. There's a difference knowing the definition and to knowing the thing itself. But the point is, I do this a lot. I forget what I was saying, and then I just can't. But anyways,
It was a concept for people playing around with the words,
but
not knowing the underlying meaning.
Yes, that was the thing, but I'm forgetting where it came from. I forget these things because some of these things, when they come and well, anyways, look, man, we're going to be having a lot of time together discussing these things, man. Discussing how we can really set ourselves free from all of this struggle, because the truth is, I know the struggle that people are going through, and you're saying, well, it's not, we are not getting our allowance, we are oppressed in this country. Man, that's not a struggle. Oppression is nothing that exists in the country. People are oppressed in Swaziland because they don't want to fucking liberate themselves. The country said you are free a long ass time ago. Okay, we had freedom a long ass time ago. When you say, that was just an act for the cameras, what do you mean by that? Have you really been to the government, or to some part where you've experienced oppression itself, or you just say this because someone told you that kangwane. What is it that you know about the country that would make you to think that we are oppressed in the country? This is a very wonderful country, man. We are free, but the problem is that for some reason we're stupid in our heads. We're still waiting for someone to come and liberate us, and that's part of the reason why we'll never be successful. Still saying that, well, the king is greedy, and what do you want the king to do for you, huh? He was never there when your mother and your father were fucking each other. He was never there. okay, or any member of the government. They were never there, okay? It was your mother and your father. They decided we are going to have sex and we are going to give birth to a child. They knew there were condoms, they knew there were contraceptives, but for some reason, and their own reason, they decided we are not going to use any of that. We want a child. And then you were born. That's the two people who are responsible for you, your mother and your father. If they are dead, you are your own responsibility. When you go to a person, you say, please say, help me, because that person is not, you are not their responsibility. If they do something to you or for you, then that's a gift. You should be appreciative, okay? But the point is, you cannot afford to wait for someone who's to help you physically. Like the thing they do in South Africa. The government must build toilets for us. Man. Really? What do you think? Hey, people don't know, man. They don't know what progress is. They don't know what success is and responsibility is. But anyways, man, we don't think you we are not crucifying you. We are not. That's part of the reason why we're starting this movement, because we really want to liberate people, to help them to see that, there's a part you can play in all of this. When I grew up, I used to love a lot of being the superhero in the movies. I always saw myself in the shoes of Spider-Man and shoes of, the Captain Americas, or people like that. But then when I started to grow up, my world started to become a lot mushy and dark, and it started being difficult to see myself in the shoes of the superheroes. And the reason was because I had found love. And when you find love, well, you start to be so much drawn into pleasing this person you're in a relationship with, and so you sort of forget what you really want to and what you really want and want to achieve in life. And so that happened to me. But recently I've been regaining myself, man, and it's taken a long journey, and very wonderful people by my side who've helped me to pick myself from the darkest parts of life and just come out, and I'm starting to see myself again in the movies. And now I'm not seeing myself in the shoes of Spider-Man and whatnot, because, well, that's fiction. But now I'm starting to see myself, for instance, in this movie by John Cena, Playing with Fire. I started seeing myself a lot in John Cena, because he's coming back now and he just wants to be there for the kids, the little ones, man. The little ones, man. Oh, the little ones, man. I hate this thing, man, because our parents at some time, they were complaining about the same ignorance of their parents. At one time, they were complaining about it, but now that we are here, they don't, for some reason, think that we are complaining about the same thing. Batale nje kuse bakushiye ndoda. Heartbroken esikolweni, uthi uyabuya ukukhala bakutshela ukuthi bovela bafunani bafana wena. Ekuse wonke umuntu lodaliwe ntwana yami lo normal, at some point they will want to share their lives with another person. So your job as a parent is to let them experience that, but always be there so that when they fall, you pick them up. Because otherwise, if you say you will prevent them from getting there, there will come a time when you will die. These people will be 40 years old and they will be getting married, but you will be surprised how small they know about the relationships in the first place, because when you've been protecting them from the day one. Let these kids, that's what he said. I think he said, kids, you gotta let them out, because they are like fire. You just got to let them to burn, but just contain until they burn out. Contain them. So nakuthiwa abantwana bafuna kuyonatha bafake emabhareni la kahle la protected, lapha kube nemabhizinisi etimoto, kuthi abantwana sebadzakiwe, transport them home, security. Let them be like that, but just find a way to inspire them. And that's part of what we are trying to do, to become role models, so people can look up to us and see us. And something that we'd like to say, guys, if you really are going to like this and follow this, when we talk to old people, we never say fuck to them, okay? We never use vulgar with old people, because we respect them, we talk to them, but that doesn't mean we're like, we never do that. You stand tall to these people, you ask them what they want. They say, what's in it for me, sir? What's in it for me? Okay, you can't just send me and say do things because you are older than me. I have my own plan in life too. There's a vision that I have. I have my own things that I want to put into a puzzle so I can do something big. Okay, I cannot just be a part of your story. I'm not a pawn. I'm a complete person who has feelings, who has plans, and who has ideas ideas that he wants to implement in this world. So you can't just come with me with the gimmick and say I'm older than you, and then you think for some reason I have to say, oh yeah, just cause you are older than me. But it doesn't mean shout at them. The fuck, man, this is for all me and you, okay? We say fuck, shit, pussy. That's cause me and you, we don't this like that's just a word, man. It means the vagina. It's like when you find people having sex at the house. A Christian comes and says they're engaging into what sexual what they say it in a respectful way, and scientists come, they are having sexual intercourse or coitus, and then another person comes like, yeah, these guys are fucking, man. Yeah, they are fucking. Yeah, they're really fucking. But it never changes. If we were all to walk into the house and see what they're doing the same thing. But for some reason, people think that when you call it fucking, there's a problem. When you call it sex, there's a problem. Or it's better that way. These are just fucking words that mean something that is happening there. And of course, the old people will not understand this thing. So what we do, we just laugh at them. But me and you, we understand it's the same thing, dog. It's just fucking, so that's it. But the point is, man,
They see you guys
we see you, man.
and feel.
We see you. What we're really trying to kill is the fear in people. Because, you can't kill fear in people by saying, stop being scared. Have you ever seen these pastors who preach a lot about fear? They are scared themselves too. They are very scared. Those people, I'm telling you, remember the guy who raised the hand? He panicked and thought, yes, sis. Yes, sis. You see the pastors, man, most of them, they don't know what they're doing. Trust me. Okay, they have this confident thing. They just come at the church like they know. Ask them one question. Who the hell is God? Just ask them that. Who is God and where is he and what the hell does he want from us? Okay?
We called in your mother's pastors us in this house.
Yeah, to try to have a conversation.
Somebody run away for good.
Because why? We're asking the real questions that no one has an answer to. But we do. And it's not that because we're smart or what we know too much. It's because we read what geniuses and intelligent and honest and brave people have written for us. That is the Bible. That is other books. That is watch what the Indians have to say about their own Muhammad. Because I'm telling you, there's so much that you get from the different parts of the world. But of course, it takes a lot, man. It takes the scrutiny that has to happen there. It's a lot because there's so much yet you will get out in the internet or in the world. There's a lot. All right, there's a lot, but you have to know how to select what is right and what is wrong. But we'll learn with time, man. Ngiyititshere. Yathi ngiyititshere. Ngiyititshere mbamba. I am single and that's a problem. That's a problem. Look, this is what I'm saying, part of not being afraid. People, they will say, this guy's just trying to get a girl. Yeah, well, fuck you, man. I'm trying to get a girl too, okay? There's a lot that I want to achieve with what I'm doing, and part of it is getting a nice-ass girlfriend. What I'm looking for, what am I looking for? I don't know. Surprise me. Peace.